Hey basketball coaches and basketball players, my name is Alan from Al's Basketball Training, and today I'm going to talk to you about different team basketball defense drills that you can run. Let's get down to the clipboard, let's check these out. Okay, so first, this drill can be ran in man-to-man, which is what I have here on the clipboard, or you can run it with a zone as well. This is a fantastic drill that you can run. So number one, we're going to have player 2 drive towards the basket, and we're going to then explain to the defense to drop down and try and stop that drive from happening. First line of help defense. This drill is actually not just for defense. This is actually a great drill for offense as well. Because now we're going to tell them to pass that ball out. When this player drives, I want to see a player fill this position. Now, at that point in time, I want player 3 to pass that ball to player 1. This is now going to be bringing the defense over. We're going to be having player 4 fill that top. And now player 5 is going to be popping up. And now, what I want to see happen is player 2 to continue out and around, and player 5 to pass to player 2. Now, if player 2 has that open shot, if player 2's defender has not recovered in time, player 2 blue can take that shot. However, if player 2's man recovers, what I want to see now is a screen by player 5, and now player 2 could take that shot or look for player 5 who's setting that screen and roll, and player 2 could pass to player 5 for that layup. Now, what I want to see happen is whoever takes that shot, so if player 5 takes that shot, I want to see him get that rebound and pass out to player 3, and now we're going to have player 3 pass to player 1. Now, player 5 got that rebound, he's going back out. If, however, player 2 took that shot, I want player 2 getting that rebound, and what would happen at that point in time would be player 2 getting that rebound, he would pass the ball out to player 3, player 5 would move up to this position, and player 2 would move out towards this corner. Now the defense is back to where it was before, and we would have player 1 drive again, player 3 would drop down, kick out, and we would then continue through this same drill over and over and, well, over again. Now, if player 1 was to take that shot from that corner, again, same idea applies. Player 1's going to go get that rebound. He's going to pass it out to player 3. Now, player 3, he could be a player, and you could run this a few times around and then change players out. Or what you could do is have a coach sit there, because let's face it, all this player is doing is passing the ball. So you're going to want to switch him out after every 3 or 4 times running through this drill. Or what you could do as well is how I would like to do it myself personally is every time he passes the ball, he switches with the defender. And then you could run it through a few different times, and then you can have the defense switch as well, and you can keep on running through, and you can keep on switching. The switching can be up to you as a coach. Now that's a great defensive drill for your team, but also a great drill that will help your offense work better as well. So this is both a great defensive and offensive drill that you can run with your team, and it will help you get tons of points, but also help your team learn how to play help defense on the ball side and not help defense from the far side. Now this next drill, if you run a press defense, this next drill is going to work fantastic for how your team is going to run the press defense from now on. This is absolutely amazing. I actually run this with every single team I have ever coached. Let's get down to the clipboard. Let's check out this drill. So we're going to have one offensive line in the middle, and we're going to have 2 defensive lines right at the side of each key. What I want to see happen is player 3, I want him sprinting down the court with that ball. That is extremely important. I want him to try and get past half court. The other issue, however, with that is the defensive team wants to stop him. So how we're going to do this is very simple. He starts dribbling down. Let's say player 1 was quick and he was able to cut him off. I want player 4 to now draw up or come up and cut off that side, which is going to then force player 3 to dribble towards that sideline. Now, I want to see player 1 and 3. I want to see those two players going towards the sideline. I want to see player 1 really forcing player 3 towards that sideline. Meanwhile, we're going to be having player 4 coming up and bringing up the behind, which is going to stop player 3 from doing a spin move off and going over into this direction. We really want him to go towards the sideline. And how I like to run this drill is, of course, I only give them 5 seconds usually, but you could start with a 10 seconds or 8 seconds. It's up to you. And from there, you can force player 3 towards the sideline. And what I'll say is the defense gets 1 point if they trap you along the sideline. If they trap you at half court, just when you first get past half court, if they trap you there, they get 3 points. However, if you get past half without getting trapped and finish with a layup or whatever on the other side, that's the other thing. I want the offensive team, if they get past half without getting trapped, I want them to go in for a layup or a shot. I'm not one of those coaches who say, yeah, the drill's finished, get back. No, finish the play. Finish, get to the net. The defense at that point, they're nullified. They didn't win, so they get back. But the offensive player needs to finish on the other side. And then from there, we can actually add in more players, which I'm going to show you in a few seconds. But basically, what I want to see is the defense really winning. Now, if the offense gets past half court, they get 5 points. If they make a layup or a shot, they get an extra point. If they miss a shot or if they miss a layup, they lose 3 points. So it really comes down to, do they feel confident on making that shot? And they better make that shot. If they take a 3-point shot, they get an extra 2 points. So basically how the point system works is defense traps you along the sideline. They get one. I usually only give them 1 point for the sideline. If they trap at half court, they get 3 points. And then if the offensive team gets past half without getting trapped, it's 5 points. And then if they go and score a layup or a mid-range, it's 1 point. 3-point shot is 2 points. However, if they miss any of those shots on the end, they get negative 3 points. That's how I work this system. So you may want to have a parent keeping track or players keeping track themselves. So you could say, hey, the whole team has to count. So if the whole team is like, hey, we got 5 points, we got past half, and then, oh crap, we missed our layup, now we're only down to 2. And then what you're going to say is the first team to 11 win by 2 wins. And then that winning team can choose the punishment for the losing team, which could be laps, suicides, push-ups, squat jumps, whatever it may be. Now let's get down to how I can add in more players and make it more game-like. So how I make it more game-like is by adding 3 defensive lines and then having 2 offensive lines. And basically how this works is whoever has that ball. So let's say this line starts with that ball. I want these 2 players to be trapping player 3. I want them to be trapping and forcing towards the sideline. Meanwhile, the other side, he's trying to get open so they can reverse that ball. Meanwhile, player 5 in this case would be trying to cut off that pass. So let's say we get player 3 and 4 out, and they've trapped, and they're pushing towards that sideline. Now we've got player 1 who is now open. If player 1 gets that ball, he needs to get over and away, preferably up the middle. And from there, at this point, we would have player 5 guarding player 1, player 4 coming over to try and force towards that sideline, and player 3 red would be guarding player 3 blue and trying to stop that reverse pass, because as we all know, that reverse pass on a press break or going up the middle is an easy way of beating the press. So again, trying to force towards the sideline. So we would have player 1 moving over, we would have player 5 moving up, player 4 bringing up the rear and trying to trap along that sideline. Now, if they've trapped, and let's say player 1 or 3, whoever, hasn't gotten past half within that time limit, I would call that a trap, and they would get their points. The defense would get their points. And these are great team defense drills that you can run. These are fantastic. This next one you've probably never seen before. So this is a great drill. Let me show you. So in this next drill, this is a defensive rebounding drill. And what actually turns into a transition. So we've ran through a couple of team defense drills. One that helps with or teaches help defense. Another one that is teaching press defense. Now this one is teaching defensive rebounds and the transition offense. So we've got a player or a coach who is shooting the ball, and we've got these two players who are rebounding the ball. Let's say player 3 gets that rebound. I want him to outlet to his team, which is on that side, and I want him sprinting down court. At the same time, if this is not a player, if this is not a coach, if this is an actual player who took that shot, so let's say we have player 1 taking that shot, what we want to see is player 1 touching that baseline, and now player 3 is sprinting down court. Player 2 is going to pass back to player 3. Meanwhile, player 3 blue is sprinting down court for defense. Player 2 is going to be following his pass to go up the middle. It's going to be a 2-on-1 situation. So it's going to be these two red against this blue. What I want to see happen is after player 1 takes that shot, he's going to go and touch that baseline. Of course, if this is not a coach who is taking this shot, and player 1 is now going to be, after taking that shot and touching the baseline, running back to play recovery defense. So this is, again, still transition type defense, where we were on a 2-on-1 situation, but player 1 is now coming back, so it'll be 2-on-2. And how I like to do this is, instead of just doing the standard one shot for the offense, I want to see 2 shots, because I want to see what happens when this player gets back on defense. Of course, there's tons of other team defense drills that will teach you a ton. The shell defense drill, as well as different fast break 3-on-2, 2-on-1 type of drills. However, those are drills I've covered so many times on this channel that I'm not going to get to them again. However, you can search them on my channel, and if I remember, I will link them down below, as well as in cards as well. If you hit that like button and subscribe. And of course, if you have any questions, comment below. I will answer as much as I can. I try to get to 99.9% of everyone's comments. And I'll see you guys again in our next video.